Out front now, Keith Boykin, who was an aide in the Clinton White House and former Democratic governor of Pennsylvania and chairman of the DNC, Ed Rendell, who has endorsed Joe Biden for president. So, Keith, let me start with you. You strongly believe Joe Biden needs to apologize. Obviously, he has not done so, and he is, lining people up to say why what he said is okay. Congressman Lewis saying that he's not offended. Is that significant for you?
Not for me. I respect John Lewis. He's a civil rights icon, legend, and he's contributed a great deal to the discourse. But his words are just one person's words. And there are a lot of people in the African-American community who are still concerned about what Joe Biden said. And there may be a generational divide. Maybe it's younger people as opposed to older people who feel that way. But they're still a part of the Democratic Party base. And Joe Biden has a duty, I think, to sort of speak to all those different people. You can't just give the impression that you're more comfortable working with James Eastland, a segregationist senator, than you are working with a black senator named Cory Booker. That's not a good look for Joe Biden, and he needs to do something about that.
What do you say to that, Governor Rendell?
Well, of course, Joe Biden never said that at all. Look, we're at the Representative Congressman Clyburn's picnic. Congressman Clyburn said that he would work with Strom Thurmond, the most notorious of all segregationists, on issues that were important to South Carolina. So if it's good enough for Jim Clyburn, it's good enough for John Lewis. I think that should put an end to this. And let me tell you, Aaron, if we Democrats keep shooting at each other, if Joe Biden falls out of the lead and let's say Elizabeth Warren takes the lead and we attack Elizabeth Warren, well, we are going to elect Donald Trump. And Democratic voters, I think, are going to be very ticked off at people who attack other Democrats.
I don't agree with that, Governor. I think the fact that it's good enough for John Lewis and good enough for Jim Clyburn means it's good enough for John Lewis and Jim Clyburn. It doesn't mean it's good enough for everybody else. It doesn't mean it's good enough for all African Americans. We're not a monolithic community. Just because two black people who happen to be older people say that doesn't mean that the rest of the black community has to come along with that. So I think it's kind of offensive to suggest that the two people get to close down the entire conversation for the entire black community.
Governor, do you think that this is a generational
Jim Clyburn
issue?
did more than just say it was okay. He said he did the same thing. And the message is clear here. The American people, by 70%, want us to get things done, want us to talk to each other, want us to talk to people who are our political opponents. They're sick and tired of the gridlock in Washington. And Joe Biden is by far the best candidate to break that gridlock.
Well, part of the problem, though, I think, Governor, is that the Democratic Party, and I'm a part of that party. I worked in the Clinton White House, for example. I worked for Democratic candidates in the past. But our party has been too accommodating of white racists and people who are the segregationist types and the people who use white racial resentment politics. And we haven't been accommodating enough of the African-American base of the party or the people of color in the party or the women in the party. Women are the majority of the population. And we continue to cater to white men who are 29% of the population, in particular white conservative men. That's not a good look for a party in 2019.
So I want to play for each of you what we just happened earlier today with the Mayor Pete Buttigieg. He was supposed to attend in the fish fry, but he canceled those plans to return home for a march related to the deadly shooting of a black man by a white police officer in South Bend. This is actually what you're looking at here is live, but I want to play for you what just happened moments ago, an exchange he had with community members.
Can you say to us today, in front of all these cameras, that Black Lives Matter?
Did you just ask me if Black Lives Matter?
Yes, we want to hear you say it.
Of course, Black Lives Matter.
Then fire your car.
What about a black life? What matters about a black life to you, Mayor Pete? What matters about a black life to you? Answer that poor and just mother.
Same thing that matters to me about my own.
Answer that.
Keith, you sort of your eyes were opening wide.
I'm shocked. I just saw this for the first time, and that's in South Bend.
Yes.
This is, I think, going back to the conversation I was having with Governor Rendell, it's just that African Americans are not a monolithic community. There are a lot of black people who are fed up and tired of the Democratic Party, not to mention even the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party speaking the right language, but not doing the right thing when it comes to to going to the mat and fighting for African Americans. Yes, the Democratic Party is head and shoulders above the Republican Party. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of being willing to fight for the issues that black people are concerned about, black people want to see the party leaders, to see the presidential candidates get out there and do something and lead on these issues, not be followers.
Governor, what do you make of that? I'll give you a chance to respond here to one more thing that just happened with this exchange with Mayor Pete moments ago. Here it is.
I do not have evidence that there has been discipline for racist behavior in the case of Oregon.
And you running for president?
But if
You truly running for president and you black people to vote for you? You running for president and you want black people to vote for you? That's a downfall. That's not gonna happen.
I'm not asking for your vote.
You ain't gonna get it either.
Governor, what do you make of this? I mean, this is
Well, I guess
this
it's
is
not
part of the
generational
Democratic
after
base.
all,
This is anger.
as
Go ahead.
Keith said. So it's clearly not a generational problem. Look, the answer is African Americans, like all Americans, have the right to respect that political parties will do things to benefit them and to deal with their problems.